What's going on, Pacer Nation? Welcome back to another episode of Bring the Juice Pacers. Guys, sorry about the late update here, but it was a late night game for the Indiana Pacers against the Utah Jazz. Last night, the first of their back-to-back here. They are playing the Portland Trail Blazers tonight at 10 p.m. So another late night game, but man, a game that Indiana really, in a lot of ways, from the beginning, seemed like this could be one of those games where the Pacers could lose to an inferior team on the road without their starting center. I mean, all these things were against Indiana, and it certainly looked that way to start this game. You know, Utah really jumped out from the start and, was dictating this game for a large majority. They led it to half, and then really throughout this game, it was back and forth for both of these teams. And then the Indiana Pacers, when it mattered the most to close it out, they went on a 23-10 run and won by a point. So, yes, absolutely not a great game for Indiana in a lot of different ways. And I still am honestly shocked that despite all these things that they did not do well in this game, despite not having Miles Turner for this game, Pacers were still able to win and pull out the 1-point victory and continue their winning ways, which is definitely a great thing. And out west, having to play a back-to-back sort of thing. I mean, all signs pointed to the Pacers maybe dropping both of these games, if not one or both of these games. So for the fact that they played as they played in a lot of different ways and still were able to take care of it is definitely a good, positive sign. And honestly, guys, these are games that the Pacers would have lost a year ago. I mean, last year you kind of asked the question, how did the Pacers lose this game? This year, we're starting to ask the question, how did the Pacers win this game? I still am not 100% sure. I mean, when you look at it, the Pacers were out-rebounded almost by double the amount of rebounds, 60-37. Utah had 9 more points from the three-point line. Free throw line, the Utah Jazz had +4. I still think it's just wild that the Pacers, despite playing like garbage, despite missing Miles Turner, despite being on the road for the first game of a back-to-back, they still were able to come out with a win. And that's a testament to this team. They've had to win ugly the last couple games they played. So, I'll give them a shout-out for that. I mean, nobody expected – this is a game the Pacers should have lost, let's be honest. And somehow, some way, they were able to come out victorious. Now, when you dive into this game a little bit more, I think the primary 2 reasons why the Pacers were able to do what they were doing was 2 of the big 3 that did play in this game, Pascal Siakam and Tyrese Haliburton. Pascal Siakam had 22, 6, and 4. He is so consistent, man. Such a incredible anchor for this Pacer team. And even when the Pacers have off nights like this, Pascal Siakam is still there to provide his consistent play night in and night out. And then you look at Tyrese Haliburton, 18 points for him. Not the greatest day shooting. He shot under 50% today, 3 of 10 from the three-point line. But when it mattered the most, Tyrese helped to secure this win for Indiana. And then you have other guys who provided some quality minutes as well. You had Nembhard. You had Mathurin on the starting unit. You had Thomas Bryant, who did not have a great game at all. I mean, a very poor game, probably his worst performance as an Indiana Pacer. I mean, he was not good at all. He couldn't shoot the basketball. He really struggled with the rebound game and just was overall not a great night for Thomas Bryant at all. But I think when it mattered the most, Thomas Bryant did rise to the occasion and helped the Pacers down the stretch. When they went on that run, Thomas Bryant did his part, did his job in those ways. So Thomas Bryant, not a great night for him. Probably his worst as a Pacer, but when it mattered the most, he did come through when it mattered. So he only had 9, 6 rebounds, and an assist. Mathurin had 9 points, 1 rebound. Aaron Nesmith had 13 points, 7 rebounds, and 2 assists. So he definitely had a pretty solid night overall. And probably, honestly, out of pretty much anybody outside of Nembhard, he had probably the best day shooting. Maybe him and Jarris as well. Jarris had 9 points as well, 4 of 6 shooting as well. Obi Toppin had 13 and 3. He was 5 of 10 shooting. Ben Shepherd had 5 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 of 5 shooting. TJ McConnell had an off night shooting with only 4 points, 2 of 7 shooting. So, I mean, overall, guys who have typically been pretty good from, a shooting percentage were not the greatest, honestly, in this game for Indiana. I mean, Indiana did not shoot their typical amount, especially from the three-point line. They were only 24%. That's very bad from the three-point line. 24%. They only made 10 of their 42 attempts. So not great at all. Not great at all. And, the Jazz had 10 more free throws in this game than Indiana did. The big thing is, though, Utah did turn it over double the amount Indiana did. Rebounds were an absolute disaster. Utah dominated on the glass. Pacers did have a few more blocks and a few more steals as well. But yeah, guys, really it did come down to the late heroics of a couple different guys, Pascal Siakam, Tyrese Halliburton, some guys off the bench who definitely in their minutes. You had pretty much 4 guys on the bench that had 18-plus minutes in this game without Miles in this game. So to their credit, they stepped in and played some high-quality basketball. And they're going to need these nights where your bench comes up and helps you when your starters are having off nights like we had here against the Utah Jazz. So, yeah, guys, overall, like I said, a game the Pacers should not have won. I mean, they did everything they could to lose this game from the performances they had and the lack of production that they had in certain areas. They were without Miles Turner. Thomas Bryant was really struggling. The Pacers were really struggling from the three-point line. They're typically pretty good in that department, but they still were able to come out with a win against, yes, albeit a very bad Utah team. But you know what? At the end of the day, they are professionals. It is in Utah. So you know what? You got to win ugly sometimes. Like I said, sometimes you're not always going to have these performances where you're, beating down some of these teams. Sometimes you need to win ugly. A win is a win at the end of the day. So Indiana continues to win, and they improved to 28-20. They're going to have to face the Portland Trailblazers here, who just went into overtime last night. They're also on a back-to-back, so they're going to have to face them, potentially get up to 29 wins, and maybe start to close the gap even further when it comes to the New York Knicks. Unfortunately, New York was able to win last night, so that gap stays where it is right now, about 4 games between the number 4 and number 3 seed right now. But Indiana's got to continue to win, even if it's not always pretty. Hopefully the Pacers will be getting back Miles Turner. That would be a major boost overall to these guys. And, obviously Miles Turner's shooting is fantastic, especially from the three-point line. So that would definitely be a welcome addition back into the starting lineup. But, yeah, guys, overall, not a pretty game by any stretch, but Indiana able to take care of business when it mattered the most. So, guys, let me know your thoughts here on Indiana's first of a back-to-back here against the Utah Jazz. Pacers able to take care of business and win this game 112-111, come out victorious, and we'll see what they do tonight against Portland. But let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments down below. That'll do it for this one, guys. Thank you so much. If you haven't already, be sure to smash that like button, hit subscribe, turn on the notification bell so that you are in the loop when we drop fresh content just like this. Guys, we are rapidly approaching 1,000 subscribers, so if you would do us a favor and help us out in that department, we would greatly appreciate it. But that'll do it for this one, guys. Thank you so much, and as always, go Pacers.